guess. What about number 1? How many terms does number 1 have? 2. So what do we look for first? Anytime it has 2 or 3. GCF. What is it here? 12xy. Perfect. All right. So what's 36 divided by 12? Go. 3x. Very good. Minus 48 divided by 12 is 4y. Very good. Very nice job. And you're on a math workshop test coming up in the next few weeks, and you don't know if it's right or not. How could you check your answer? You could distribute it back in, right, and get the same thing. All right, what about number 2? How many terms does number 2 have? 4 terms. So what do we do? Group them. There you go. What do the first 2 have in common? 2x. Take out a 2x from the 8ax minus 6, and what do you get? 4a. Keep going. Minus 3. There you go. All right, what about the back 2? What do the back 2 have in common? What kind of 3? Negative 3. There you go. And then that would be 4a minus 3 as well. How do you know you get it right? They're the same. There you go. 4a minus 3 and 2x minus 3. Everybody okay? That's fine. You wrote 2x minus 3 and then 4a minus 3? Perfectly fine. Ooh, how could you check that one to make sure it was right? You could FOIL it, right? Now look, you may get them in different orders, but remember we've done one when they're in different orders. You just move them around, okay? Is everybody okay with that? You all with me today? Did y'all get enough sleep? I didn't either. This weekend was rough, y'all. All right. What about number 3? How many terms does number 3 have? 3. What's the very first thing you look for? GCF. Does it have one?
No.
No. So that's when you do factors of the back number that add or subtract to be the middle number. So what are the factors of 8 that add or subtract to be 6? Positive 2 and positive 4. Very good. Very nice. Y'all okay? All right. What about number 4? 2 terms, right? Yes, ma'am. Yes. What do we check first, though, when we have 2 terms? GCF. Remember that problem? That was 2 perfect squares on Thursday, but it had a GCF? You got to take that out first, okay? Does it have anything that divides in both of them? No. So then you can do the difference of 2 squares, which would be 2b minus 25 and 2b plus 25. Everybody okay? Gotta make sure you check that GCF first, okay? All right, the dreaded number 5. You ready? Slide divided bottoms up. We're having struggles on this one. All right, here we go. I'm gonna liven up this morning. Y'all are just like killing me over there. What is it? What's wrong? What? Baby doll this weekend? I mean, y'all still like miserable today. What's wrong?
Have you ever said like if you're all down this weekend, you might all actually die?
No, that would really hurt my heart if that really happened. So I probably should quit saying that, shouldn't I? Yeah, probably. And then y'all just, you're not miserable. You just look at Halloween's tomorrow. Halloween's tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. You get what?
You go around, right? You go around.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right, here we go. So first things first, you have 3 terms, right? You don't have a GCF. And how do you know to slide it? Like, how do you know this one's different from number 3?
Because there's a 7.
There you go. There's a number in the front, right? So there's no GCF, and there's a 7 in the front. So you slide that 7 to the back, which y'all got that part. What's 7 times 28? Really big number, right?
196.
196. So you got a squared plus 53a plus 196. Y'all are pros at that. You got that part. Okay? Then you're even pros at finding the factors of 196 that add or subtract to be 53. How much was that?
49 and 4.
49 and 4. Sounds right. And then this is where we get lost, right? Right here. Some of us know. Some of us are pros. All right, that's the slide part. What comes after slide? Slide, then what? Divide. What are we going to divide by?
7.
7. Now, there are a few of you that don't like this way, and you remember your way from Algebra 1. I don't care, as long as you have to answer, okay? There's about 3 different ways to do this. All right, so we're going to divide by 7. That's the divide part. What comes after slide and divide? Bottoms up, okay? So, this 49 divided by 7. Yeah, that's just A plus 7, right? But 7 does not divide by 4. That's where the bottom's up. What's the bottom number?
7.
So that comes in front of the A, and then plus 4. Everybody okay? Feeling a little bit better? A little bit? We got one more to do. We got number 10 that we're going to do tomorrow, and then your test will be Thursday, okay? And then I put, 5 problems on Google Classroom for you on Friday, on Thursday. Did y'all see those? No? I'll repost them for you, okay? I put 5 or 6 problems. No, I didn't. I put a whole sheet on there. Put a whole sheet on there. And said the answers, and I'll repost those for you, okay? Those are good questions to kind of help you do some slide, divide, bottoms up practice. Thursday. Yes, sir.
What homework did I miss Thursday? Or the homework was due?
It's page 9 and 11. I gave it to you, like,
Was it that day I came in?
I don't know, what day did I give that to you? Tuesday? Monday or Tuesday?
You gave us like a whole week to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you had since like Monday or Tuesday. So, all right, yes, sir. You guys miss what we're about to do. Where are you confused on? Yeah. So we'll see that first, okay? All right. First things first. Let's look at page 5, and everybody needs a graphing calculator, okay? Gonna do some cool stuff on there. Page 5, yes, sir. We haven't done the real world problem yet, and yes, there will be one on your test. When's your test again? What day? Thursday. There you
Wait,
go.
so the factoring in this is on the same test?
Everything, yes, sir. This is quadratics. Everything. All right, everybody ready? Got your calculators ready to go? Here we go. Where do we go to plug in the function that they give us? First of all, what is our function?
The HT equals
There you go. What's HT equal?
-16.
Uh-huh. T squared. Yeah, then what? Yeah. There you go. Now look, if you're in physics, you don't use X's and Y's in physics. You're using H's and T because H stands for what?
H.
Height. And T stands for time, right? Hence the reason in the problem, T is time, right? It at least says it for you, okay? All right, so we go to our calculator, which for some reason mine is not there anymore, so hold on a minute. And we go to Y equals. I'm going to clear out anything if there's anything in there, right? And we type in -16. We don't have a T, so we're going to put X squared. And then, what was it? Plus something. 28, okay. And then plus 200? Okay. All right. Got that typed in? It's going to be one like this on your test. It's not a hint. I'm just telling you. There's going to be one like this on your test. Just type in that function from page 5. -16x squared. All that good stuff. Okay, everybody good so far? All right, hit graph. Guys, you know what kind of a shape it's supposed to make. What's it supposed to make? It's supposed to make a parabola, a U, right? Do you see a parabola? Because your window is really, really small, right? You need to make your window bigger. All right, now look. What can we not see?
The vertex.
The vertex. So, is that my X's or is that my Y's? Now, I got to make my Y's bigger, right? Do you remember? I know it's been a little while since we've done it. We go to our window, very good, which is right next to the Y equals button. And you don't want to mess with your X's because you can see all of those. You want to change your Y's. So, what was my Y-intercept? Ooh, how do we find Y-intercept? You plug in 0, or you could just look where?
C.
The C. There you go. The constant, which was how much?
200.
That gives you an idea. What probably should we be making one of our Y values? Around.
200.
Around 200, 250, somewhere right there. Okay, now, you got to ask yourself, is that going to be my minimum, or is that going to be my maximum? So look back. It's a maximum. How'd you know it was a maximum? What was your function? It was a negative in the very front, right? So we probably need to make our maximum. Gabe, you said 250? I mean, if it's too big, who cares? We'll just see more than we need. All right, let's hit graph and see if we can see something. Look at there. Pretty nice graph, right? Y'all okay with that? All right, so what did it ask us to find on page 5? What's the question asking us? Kenna, what's wrong, bud? All right, let's look at it. Oh, don't worry about that. That's just it's not graphing? Okay. All right, Cameron, read us that question on page 5. What's it tell us to do?
How long will it take the package to reach the ground?
What was it, Cameron? I'm sorry.
How long will it take the package to reach the ground?
All right, so guys, look. Where's the ground on your graph? The x-axis, right? So if it's wanting to know how long until it hits the x-axis, what were those called when it hit the x-axis?
X-intercept.
X-intercepts. Now, let me ask you this question. What does it look like the first x-intercept is on the left-hand side? Negative how much? 3. Okay. So, we didn't use x's and y's. We used h's and t's, right? And t is your x-axis. T stood for what? Time. Can you have a negative 3 seconds? No. You can't go back in time, right? So am I worried about this one that's the negative? No. I'm worried about the one that's positive, which looks like it's where?
Oh.
Well, if I'm going to say about, what should I be doing? Remember? Where do we go? Not our table. Second, calculate. There you go. And did we have, how did we find our x-intercept? What button did we push? 0, or we could just hit number 2. You see your cursor flashing somewhere, right? What's the question it asked you? All right, somewhere on the left side. Stop doing that. All right, so somewhere right above the x-axis, right? Y'all okay? All right, and then where would the right bound be? Right under it, right? The only problem is some of those numbers are making it where you can't see it, right? So just hit it a couple of times until you think it's somewhere in the right, and then hit enter again. Where's your x value at? Where's your x-intercept? You said it looked like about 4.5 earlier, right? So how many decimals should we take? 3. So on page 5, that real world problem, Cameron told us the question said, how long does it take the package to hit the ground? How long does it take? 4. There you go. There you go. 4.517 seconds. Perfect. So let's see. We're going to make our pre-AP sentence, right? So what are we going to say? Not a pre-AP sentence. There you go, Gabe. It will take about, and we do 3 decimals. So what was it? 4.517 seconds for the, what are we dealing with? Package? Okay. Oh, they're doing a flyby. Okay. To hit the ground. That is my pre-AP sentence. Everybody good? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right, so if I get starting to your feet, so shouldn't we start from the vertex and do that minus the x value of the vertex?
No, because the vertex is where it reaches its peak, where it's going to stop for a second before it goes back down.
Across from 200 feet, and the vertex is 200. Yeah.
you're in the helicopter and you toss it, like you just float, and it's not going to go straight down, it's going to like go out and then over. That was a good question. Okay, where are we going from here? We're going to page 16 and 17. We got to finish that up from Friday, right? All right. So, Garrett, we need to do a couple of review problems from Friday, you said? All right. Does everybody agree with that? Y'all okay with doing a couple from Friday? All right. What if I gave you one like, let's see. So, Garrett, are you saying these are the ones that like messed you up when I told you to do these? Like out of the 15?
Like, I started getting lost number 6.
Okay. Where's number 6 say? What page was that on? 17?
15.
15. Where is page 15? Okay. 6. Okay, so we're going to multiply them. So give me a number, anybody. 7. Okay, alright, that's good. What's 7 times 12? 84. And what's I times I?
I squared.
And you know I squared is how much? Negative 1. That one, guys, shows up every single time on the ACT, okay? So know that I squared is negative 1. So you have 84 times negative 1, which is negative 84. So like on this one, it'd be 6 times 4. 24, I squared. And then 24 times negative 1, which would be negative 1. There we go. All right, what about this one, out of the 15? What number are you needing 15 to divide by? 2, right? Because we know I squared. Does 15 divide by 2?
No.
No, but what number underneath 15 divides by 2?
14.
So we got out of the 14, and then I. 2 of them make 15, right? 14 and 1 make 15? Okay, so we need to change this to be I squared, but it has to still be 14. So when you had one base, you multiplied. So 2 times what is 14? 7. There you go. And then I squared is negative 1. You got your handy dandy calculator. Anything to an odd, any negative number to an odd power is always going to be what? Negative, or you can just plug it in your calculator, right? It'll give you the same thing. So it's negative 1 times I, which is negative I. Y'all okay? Okay, all right, let's go to page 16. And let's finish some of this stuff up. Here we go. As I'm throwing stuff around. All right, 16? Yeah. All right, number 9. No. Yes, number 9. All right, here we go. What was the value of just I? Not I. I squared was negative 1. Just I. Square root of negative 1, right? And there's 2 things that you can't have on the bottom of a fraction. What can you not have on the bottom of a fraction from Algebra 1 and geometry? You can't have a square root, right? And now we know that I is the same thing as square root of negative 1, so we can't have a square root on the bottom or an I on the bottom, so we got to fix it. What's the opposite of division go? Multiplication. And we are going to multiply by what we're trying to fix. What are we trying to fix? What's the problem? I is the problem, not the 5. The 5's okay. The I is the problem. And it's perfectly legal to do that as long as if you do it to the top, you do it to the bottom, right? Did you with me, babe? All right. Y'all okay? Yeah? All right. So you got a binomial times a monomial. What do you got to use around that binomial? Parentheses. There you go. So it's I parentheses 4 plus I. We just smushed it together, right? We didn't do any math. What about the bottom? Can I actually multiply those on the bottom?
Yes.
Yeah, what would you get? 5I squared. And if you're a real smarty prince, you know that that would just be what? And if you can just change it to negative 5, then do it, okay? You don't have to write that step in. All right, let's distribute this guy on the top. What would that give me on the top, guys? 4I plus I squared. And if you're a smarty pants, you know that's just negative 1. Very good. And on the bottom is 5 times negative 1, right? You don't have to write that step if you know it's negative 5. All right, and then this guy right here is also negative 1, but remember from Friday with complex numbers, it was proper to write the I where? In the back. There you go. So this would be negative 1 plus 4I over negative 5. If you write it the other way around, guys, I'm not going to take off points, okay? But it's proper to write it in the back. If you write 4I minus 1, I'm still going to give you credit. All right, now, that is an answer. That is true. That is an answer. But when you get on the ACT, hopefully in December, because that's a great time to take the ACT, you may not see that 5 as a negative. You may see that they divided that negative into everything. Not the 5, just the negative. So if I divide that negative, what's it do to that 1? Makes it a positive. What's it do to that 4I? Makes it a negative. And since I divided it, it's no longer negative 5I. What is it? 5I. There you go. That is more than likely how you would see it on a multiple choice test. That is more than likely how you would see an ACT answer. It's a figment of your imagination. It's called I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Thank you. All right. Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you like divide it, how do you get the numerator, like the I in front of the 4 at the beginning? How do you get the I in front of the 4?
Oh, it's just proper. You just put that in the front. Because we're used to seeing distribute. You can put it in the back if you want to. You said distribute that way. Same thing. All right, what about number 10, guys? What's different about number 10? Okay, you with me? Come on, wake up. What's different about number 10? Look at number 9. And look at number 10. What was in the bottom here? A monomial or a binomial or a trinomial? Monomial. What's in the bottom here? Binomial. Okay, so this guy's a little different. So, we had to multiply by the conjugate. Do you remember what that was?
It's like,
We talked about it once in math workshop.
isn't it the opposite of that?
The opposite sign of that here. Very good job. Very good job. All right, so we're going to multiply, right? You're with me? We got test Thursday. Ready? Gotta have a good test grade. Here we go. What's the opposite sign of 3 plus 6I?
Negative.
Oh, just the plus. Minus, right? So just do 3 minus 6I. And if you do it to the top, you got to do it to the bottom. This is from Algebra 1 review.
It's not the 1.
That's some of this stuff.
Wait.
Not the I, but the conjugate. Not the I, the conjugate. You did yours with square roots. All right, on the top, we got to use parentheses, right? Do we need to do our parabola stretches and our parent graph stretches? You sure? Can I just, I gotta wake up on me today. I feel like I'm talking to the dead. Just like staring at me like zombies. Y'all okay so far? I didn't do any math. I just smushed them, okay? All right, on the bottom, I'm not going to do any math. I'm just going to smush them. Y'all okay so far? All right, what about the top? What can I do on the top? I can distribute, right? So I get 6I minus 12I squared, right? Y'all okay so far? All right, so on the bottom, how many terms do you have altogether? 4. So you would normally have to FOIL, right? But it's a conjugate. So you don't have to FOIL the whole thing, because what happens if you were to FOIL? what would cancel? First, outer, inner, last. Which one? Inner. And what would it cancel with?
Outer.
The outer. So what's the only two things left? So the only thing, because they're conjugates, because they're the exact same numbers but different signs, I only have to multiply the first, which would give me 9. And the bottom, not the bottom, the last.
36 I squared.
There you go, negative 36I squared, which is just positive 36. Are y'all okay with that? All right, here we go. So let's change.
You mean just positive 36?
Because this is
I
negative.
squared.
And multiply that by negative 36 and you get positive 36.
Oh, I see.
Okay?
I thought you meant like without the 1.
All right, so I squared is negative 1, right? So what's negative 1 times negative 12? Positive 12. And remember, it's proper to write your I in the back. That's a positive 6. If you need that step, you write that step. If you need to write in the step of I squared is negative 1, do it. All right, what about this guy? I squared is how much?
Negative 1.
Times negative 36.
36.
Positive 36. One more step and then we're done. Add what? What'd you get?
45.
45. There you go. 12 plus 6i. Ooh, we're not done yet. We're not. You can simplify. What number goes into all 3 of them? 3. Now look, guys, here's the deal. You ready? It has to go into all 3. If it doesn't go into all 3, you can't do it. Okay? So divide all 3 of them by 3, and you get how much?
4 plus 2i.
So the 4 and the 2 could be divided by 2, right? But the 15 can't. So you can't take it any further. It's got to be into all 3 of them. Y'all okay? All right, here we go. Let's go. One more at the bottom. Number 11. Here we go. Number 11, number 11. Trying to do a circus show up here to get y'all wake up. All right. So we have a binomial on the bottom, right? So I got to multiply by the, what was that C word? Conjugate. What's the conjugate?
1 plus I.
There you go. 1 plus I. And it's perfectly legal as long as you do the same thing to the top that you did to the bottom. Got it? You want to try the first step on your own? Smush them. See what you get. Just smush them. Don't do any math. Just smush them. You smush them. Not on your phone. On number 11. You smush them. See what you get. Alright, so did y'all get this? Y'all okay so far? Okay, are the top conjugates?
No.
No, they're different, right? You gotta do the whole foil on the top. So what's the first?
Who's first? 2.
2. There you go. Alright, let's be pre-AP and let's do this all in our heads. You ready? What's the outer? 2i. What's the inner? 1i. What's 2i and 1i? 3i. Speak now if you lost where I got that from. Speak now, speak now. Alright, and what's your last? Positive I squared. Very good. Is the bottom conjugates?
Yes.
Yeah. So the only thing you got to do is the first and the last. What's 1 times 1? 1. And what's negative I times positive I? There you go. All right, let's look at this guy. This is how much? Negative 1. Combine that with your 2, and what do you get?
1.
Positive 1 plus 3i. Y'all okay so far? All right, what about the bottom? what does this guy become? Negative 1, and that negative in the front, positive 1. Add it with the other one and you get 2. Very good. Y'all okay? Alright, is that it? Right, we got one more. 12. You try 12. Go, go, go on 12. Go. Okay. Come back in the morning and we can do some of those other ones.
Okay.
Alright, did you multiply by 5 minus 6i so far? Alright, keep going. Keep going.
I got another question. Alright, so up here, we have one at the top. So we'll talk about, we have one here.
Everybody okay so far when I smushed them? Y'all okay with that? Alright, let's see. So we should get 10, maybe 12, and 5. Look at that on the top so far. If you're just copying this stuff down, guys, it's not going to do you any good. Make sure you're doing it on your own, okay? On the bottom. Don't just copy it down. If you don't understand, let me know. Y'all okay so far? Alright, so let's see. See, then you should get 16 minus 7i and 61. Yep. Yep. Got it? Guys, don't just copy it down. If you don't know what I'm doing, I see some of you look at me with crazy looks. Alright, here's what we're going to do. Let's see. Is that everything? Yep. Okay, go to the back. Alright, here we go. Let's look at 13, 14, and 15. Let's get these done, okay? Alright, what's the directions say to do, guys? Solve, right? You had a quiz the other day, and it said to solve, but it said to solve using what in front of you? Calculator. Does this say solve on the back of that? Does this say solve with the graphing calculator? No. So how do we have to solve it? I'm putting it on Thursday with the game. Factoring. Okay? So make yourself a note somewhere that because it did not say use the graphing calculator, what do we have to do? Factor. We're going to factor only because it says solve without a calculator, right? So no calculators. Okay. what do you know about number 14? How many terms does it have? 2. Y'all with me? You ready? Up here, everybody go. Ready? How many terms does it have? 13, excuse me, 13.
There's 2 14s.
It's okay, it's working 13. The very problem right here. How many terms does it have? Very first problem. Here. How many terms does it have here? Yes, 2, right? Okay, what's the very first thing we look for with 2 terms, guys? GCF. What's the GCF here? Go. 4. And then that would be x squared plus 1. Don't forget to equal 0. Y'all okay so far? All right, zero product property said that where you had a product, you could cut it. And you could say 4 equals 0. Is that true? No, it's not. But you need to write it to get practice because there's something coming later that you're going to need it, okay? And then x squared plus 1 equals 0. X squared plus 1, is that the difference of 2 squares? No, because it's not a difference. It's a plus sign, right? So what could I do to solve for x? Not a square, no. Subtract 1. So x squared equals negative 1. And now that x is by itself, how do you get rid of the square? Now you square root it. There you go. And you know that the square root of negative 1 is I. Very good job. Ready okay so far? Here's the deal. When you take the square root, it's not really just the positive one. Do you remember from Friday? Hi, what was the symbol that we wrote? Plus and minus. Very good. You got to have that, okay? You got to have the plus and the minus. All right, let's go to the next one. X squared plus 64. Yes, sir, go.
I don't understand to be when you like split the 4 when you like split the 4.
Okay, so let me just give you a random problem. Alright, so when you have a multiplication right here in the middle, and you have a 0, the 0 product property said right there at the multiplication you can split it. And you can say this one equals 0, and this one equals 0, and then you can solve.
Face off each one?
Yes. Wherever you have multiplication. And here, we had multiplication right there. So that's where we could split it. Does that make sense? Okay, you really don't need the 4 equals 0, but I want you to practice it because next 2 tests from now, you're going to need this piece right here. Okay? Alright, so guys, what about this first one? X squared plus 64 equals 0. What can I do there? It's not a difference because it's not a subtract. Subtract the 64 first, right? Square root it. Plus and minus goes in the front, right? 8 I. Why are you putting the I? Because it's a negative. There you go. Alright, last one. Down there, number 14. You ready? What do you notice? Got a GCF of 5. There you go. Excuse me. Yeah, you got that multiplication right here? Cut it. 5 doesn't really equal 0, though. And then set the other one equal to 0. Y squared plus 4. Subtract the 4. There you go. Then what? Square root. And you get how much? Perfect. Plus and minus 2I. Very good. What was the reason we used I again when we graphed? What happens when you graph and you get an I?
It doesn't cross the X.
There you go. It doesn't hit the X-axis. Are y'all okay? Alright, so here's the deal. Is that it? That's all of them, right? Alright, here's the deal. Here's what I want you to look at. I want you to look at page... So we're not doing any more math. Don't worry. I want you to look at page... Why do I have 2 17s on here? Where's it at? Where'd it go? It's all the factoring stuff. Where's all the fact? Oh, page 13. Here we go. Look at page 13. Find page 13, okay? There is one type of factoring that we did not cover yet, guys, and we're not going to cover it yet, okay? It's a factoring that you've never seen before because you haven't Algebra 2 put your phone up. So, do you see a problem on this page that we have not done yet? Number which one? 5. What do you notice about number 5, guys? It's a cube. Okay? We are going to do the cubes, but we are not going to do them yet. Does that make sense to everybody? Alright, now find your study guide. You ready? Got your study guide ready to go? Study guide, study guide, study guide. 19 and 20. Yes, sir. Alright, so let's go to the bottom of page 19. And what do you think you can do to 2 of those problems? Cross them out. Which 2 are those? Which 2 can you mark out? 10 and 11, because we're not doing cubes yet, okay? So mark out 10 and 11. Is that the only one? Oh, no, we've done plenty. I feel like we're done. 200. Alright, is there any on the back? I don't see any. Okay, here's the deal. We got about 2 minutes left, right? About 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes. If your test is Thursday, no, excuse me, not Thursday. Sorry. Test is Wednesday. What day should your test go? Wednesday. What day's your test? What day? What day? What's happening on Wednesday? Test. Got Wednesday in your head? So what are we doing tomorrow? Study guide. Now, tomorrow I will be here, but I won't be here tomorrow because we're doing the SGA dress-up day thing. So I'm going to leave you Halloween tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, got to be doing all that stuff. So that means I'm going to leave you the key, right? And you're going to work like good little angel babies in your little partner groups. And you're going to check the key. Where's the key going to be at? On Google Classroom. You want to go ahead and post it tonight so some of you can go ahead and start asking questions. I will be here for 0 period. I will be here in the library. So if you got a question, you can just ask the sub if you can go to the library and come see me, okay? Because I'll be in there. Yes, sir. Yeah. All right. I think there's maybe one, right? Positive 6. Where I got this from?
Because you did Albert and
there you go, and that would be negative 36 squared. There you go. 61. And on top, add the right squared. Yes. There you go. Over 61. They don't have anything in common. Alright, did you get these 2? These 3? You want to work on those real quick? Because you still got 30 minutes.
That one is...
Keep going. What's the numbers that you can multiply?